This is a constitutional republic, and a lot of people don't understand what that means. You know, folks say that America is a democracy. That's the process by which we elect our officials. But when you talk about being a republic, the first thing is the preeminence of the rule of law. And if you understand the rule of law, that is how we must try to resolve things, by studying and understanding the Constitution. The Constitution is, without a doubt, the greatest document, political document that has ever been written in this world. And a lot of people try to emulate that. And here we are, in so many instances, we turn our backs, against the Constitution. So I think that we need to be able to go in and get educated people, informed people that can challenge the things that are happening in our country based upon the Constitution. I don't want to see us, drop ourselves to being, as you just talked about, going outside the law and outside the mandates of this Constitution. But challenge people with your mind. Challenge people with your heart, and I think that's how you affect the real change in the United States of America. But like I said, when I went back and read Psalms 11, it talked about when the foundations are destroyed, what shall the righteous do? I mean, we can look and see the problems that we have in our country right now. So many of those critical foundations that established this country and made it what it is and made it great in 234 years, that's what's being challenged. That's what's being destroyed. That's what's being tackled. And I know there are a lot of people out here, business owners and what have you. You can't pack it up and quit. Now's the time when you have to stand. And you have to let your voice be heard. And that's the critical thing.
Alan, I just can't tell you how much I appreciate you being willing to be with us as our guest at Power Lunch. And I know that some of these folks are going to want to meet you and greet you. I know you're willing to do that. But final.
Plus, I want some of that chicken.
We will get you some chicken. We will get you. Brandon, can you make sure that you're on that? Okay, thank you. It's the third time he's complained about that. I don't want to leave
I'm going to make him do push-ups. Okay?
All right, I'm sure I can't do quite as many as you can.
I'm fine. I just like poking at it.
All right. Well, last question. What is it about, after everything you've done, you have a full life, you have a full family, you have a full plate of opportunity outside of this congressional race. What is it about public service that compels you to put your hat in the ring, subject you and your family to this kind of scrutiny, and to work this hard for many people who don't need, a public that barely votes? What is it about this opportunity that compels you as a man to pursue it?
Because I think that that's important. I think that right now, and I'm saying this to all the men out there, our country needs us. Our country needs us to stand up. Our country needs us to be the men, much the same as the Spartans who stood in the gap at Thermopylae, who saved this thing called democracy, this thing called a republic, this principle of individual freedoms. And that's what they need us to do right now. They need us to lock shields. They don't need us to cower away. Uh-oh, I didn't turn my cell phone off. That's okay. They don't need us to run away. Now is an important time. Because you're right. When I retired down here in 2004, it could have been very easy to continue to teach high school, coach track, and just be a dive bum. But there's something within you that comes from my father who served in World War II, that comes from my brother who served in Vietnam, that we passed on to my young nephew who's serving as a captain now following our footsteps. When you take an oath to the Constitution of the United States of America that says, I will support and defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic, and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, there is no statute of limitations on it if you really believe that oath. So when the American people come to you and say, will you consider doing this? Will you once again serve us? Will you try to sacrifice for us? Will you commit yourself once again? That's what I'm willing to do. And it comes back once again. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. And every tongue that rises against me in judgment, I have no fear. Because inside me, I know what makes this country great. And that's the strength and the power of each and every one of you. And if we don't have people in Washington, D.C. that understand that, then what do we give to our children and our grandchildren? Because we will have failed them. Because when our grandparents and parents were challenged, they stood up. And that's what enables each and every one of us to be sitting here today. When you leave here today, you think about what I just gave you with that one simple question. Because I will not tire, and I will not grow weary. And I'm just asking you to join me in a new dream that will restore this republic and recommit this great nation to the principles and values that made it great. And I want to close with this simple thought. In Matthew chapter 6, it talks about how you're the salt of the earth, how you're that light that shines. Ronald Reagan once said, America is that shining city that sits upon a hill. If this light goes out, it's a darkness that will be cast across this world for many generations to come. So many people look to this country as a beacon of hope. It's not about letting ourselves down, but it's about letting the world down and letting down all of those people who went before us. That's what's at stake right now.
Let's thank Alan for joining us today.